Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Monday, the Monday after the Super Bowl. Once again, the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how are you, my friend?
Yo, dude, a little tired, but happy to be here recapping the Super Bowl. What a great game. What a tremendous weekend for sports in general, for celebrations, as well as eating, dude. Super pumped to be here.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Had a great time yesterday. The food, the camaraderie, Tony. I feel like, though, honestly, one thing that we were short on, but it was just due to time.
Right.
I think we didn't get as many, like, Madden, and then, like, we didn't get to play Shell.
Yeah, no,
But
definitely not.
It
Which
was
is
just time constraints.
Yeah.
You know,
We did the big derby.
the Derby
we did
was
do the
sick.
Madden game.
The Madden game. And both games were really close.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, dude.
So yeah, it was just an amazing time. And it's just crazy that another football season in the books. And it seemed like it was just yesterday. Chiefs, Lions, Chris Jones in the owner's box, the Chiefs losing by 1. And then to here we are now with them repeating as champs for the first time in 20 years. And we'll do a full breakdown of yesterday in a minute. But we have a lot of people commenting already, so let's get to those.
Oh, yeah, dude. So we have actually my mother being first early and often here for my mom. She says, good morning, fellas. Happy day after the Super Bowl. I'm a loser, my mother says. And we have Kev Dew in the house. Kev Dew. We will take the loss. We had to add extra stuff just so you guys could stay close to us.
No, actually, we just keep
We
going,
want
keep
the
going.
smoke. Clown season keeps going. You sound so thirsty. Hashtag TCA, hashtag DTV.
It was funny that he didn't mention the extra stuff when they were leading going into the Super Bowl.
Right.
The total
Only
for
after
the
they
championship
lost.
game.
Yeah.
But now it comes up. So interesting with Kev, but we'll talk to him on Sunday.
Yeah,
we'll talk to him on Sunday.
Of course, dude. Cordially, obviously.
Yeah.
Hashtags the sports report as well. Then JB in the house too. Good W for you guys. Baseball is close, he says. Hashtag LFGR, hashtag Knicks, hashtag TCA, hashtag Sportsport, hashtag DTV. And we have Michael Buckta in the house saying, what a fucking game last night. 49ers choked in many ways, like they always do in this part of the postseason. Mahomes is not quite the GOAT yet because he is not as, let's say, Joe Montana or Brady's level. 49ers drought continues at 29 years. Suck it, San Fran, he says. Wow, dude. And then JB says, oh boy, here we go. Where's Tatum? And then Michael says, Josh B, don't worry. I'm going to roast Tatum. You'll see. So standing by for that, Brian.
That is great. And I feel like just because, day after the Super Bowl, there's just so much momentum, so much to talk about. We got to just jump right into it. The world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again.
Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones, oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
All right. So as we all know now, the Kansas City Chiefs, back-to-back champs, 25-22 in overtime over the San Francisco 49ers, coming back from a 10-3 halftime deficit, a 10-0 deficit as well.
Very good there.
And winning their third Super Bowl title.
All-time
in the last
classic,
5
Tony.
years. What a run that it's been. And before we get into, the breakdown of how the game went, Spread wise, Tony, what were your thoughts last night? What stood out to you? What would you say you indulged on the most yesterday?
Oh my gosh, dude. What did I indulge on the most? It's kind of tough because I had like a little bit of everything, I feel.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't touch was the Milanese.
Or the Marsala.
Or Marsala, rather, yeah. I mean, I guess I probably had the most chicken parm, maybe.
Chicken parm, but had a couple slices.
A couple slices,
halftime.
definitely. Yeah, like 4 slices, a lot of penne, a lot of chicken parm, a lot of Caesar salad. So, I mean,
like
oh
ridiculous.
my God,
Remo's
dude,
like the best in Connecticut.
The bread was so good.
The
dude.
bread is
the
like
bread
insane.
dunking in the sauce and
and the thing is, we didn't even do the Earl, the cheese, and the pepper too.
Don't even need it, dude.
But the penny vodka, like, would you say would that be kind of like obviously it was all good, but that was like your favorite part of it or no?
I don't think so. The penny vodka was like oddly.
Oh, here we go.
Dude, penny vodka was like
a little retort here.
A little sweet, dude.
A little
it was
sweet.
oddly sweet for me,
Interesting.
dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Remos has no affiliation with the Chiefs and Kelsey.
Yeah, I do know that,
I'm
dude.
just
I do
kidding,
know.
Tony.
But
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
From your perspective with vodka sauce, you like more like closer to red than like the pink, creamy, sweet.
Yes.
Like you like it closer to red, just like a little orange, basically with like chunks of tomato and stuff.
Yes, dude. A little orange.
And it's like, listen, everybody has their perspective. I've always liked the creamier, the orange, the better, just because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if I want it to be like that, I just want
would we get red
marinara.
sauce? Yeah.
But I get that point. So then you're basically, now I'm guessing that you're saying the chicken parm was your favorite.
Yeah, I think so. Chicken parm.
Fire. Caesar salad was fire too.
Oh my God. And when you mix it in too, because it all, like Caesar salad in a slice, Caesar salad and chicken parm, like, it's just all
and
so
then the
good,
wings though too.
Yeah, the wings were so good. Archie's.
Yeah.
So good.
And it's just crazy too. Because of that, because of the pizza, because of the chip witches, the brownies.
Oh my God, the brownie.
Cheesecake wasn't even eaten. Whole cheesecake in the fridge.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah, good for me, except it's just gonna turn into the whole week of eating everything. But it's like I can't let it go to waste.
I didn't get a chance to tell Shelby that how good the brownie was.
Oh yeah, that was so good.
So good.
I'll
brownies.
definitely let Pooch and Shelby know.
Definitely, dude. Did you have any of the taco dip?
No, and
that was actually really good. I was like,
that'll be there all week.
Dude, I told Pooch, I was like, dude, you have so much taco dip.
Yeah, there's so
giant
much
Pyrex.
You know, it was clutch too. I don't know if you're big on this. It's always been kind of like something like, listen, it just has to be this way. So I was upstairs, all ready to call it, and I'm just thinking for a second. Wait, is any of the leftovers like in the fridge?
Yeah.
Nothing was in the fridge. So I put it all in the fridge.
Yeah.
Came back down. I don't know if you're like, whatever. Like maybe you're like that with pizza. I don't know. But for me, I just I can't leave stuff overnight. I don't know. It's just like I need it in the fridge. Like it kind of grosses me out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna. There's no way.
Would you with pizza or no? I don't even like doing that, to be honest. I know
a
lot of people say they do that. That's why I was asking you, but I hate doing it. I think it's disgusting.
I know tin foil, put it in the fridge.
Yeah, exactly. The fridge, dude. Yes,
Tony.
Chip wedges. What were your thoughts? Yes, Tony. Yes.
Only had half of one.
Half of one.
Yeah.
Really?
They were good.
Okay. What? I mean, elaborate.
Right. I guess I don't know. I guess I'm just not huge into chip witches.
Mm-hmm.
I like to make my own, then I can control the amount of ice cream to cookie ratio. I think it's too much ice cream to cookie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will say, it is better that way. Obviously, too, just when like the cookie's like hot.
Yeah. Oh my God. Dude.
And would you rather have it with a sugar cookie?
No. Would you?
I never do it, but almost. I feel like that, like a real good sugar cookie, be pretty good.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, but obviously it's good with fresh chocolate chips.
Oh, so good. And then I had the jelly donut on the way out.
The jelly
that
donut.
Was so the jelly from Donut Delight. That was so good, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Donut Delight, like wow.
Wow, dude.
It's unbelievable the product they have. But yeah, a lot of leftovers. Pump 2, a lot of Marsala left. I don't know what it is. Marsala, like probably. I mean, easily it's in the top 3 for me for Italian dishes. Like
really?
I'd want. Yeah, definitely.
Was that your favorite yesterday?
Boy, that's tough. But I always do really like the penny vodka. But I would go penny vodka. I go penny vodka and the wings too. Like I only had one plate of wings.
Yeah,
but the wings, like it's like ridiculous.
I know. Yeah, I definitely could have done more wings too.
Like that buffalo sauce. Like that buffalo sauce is unbelievable. And then yeah, and that was your first time having Papa's Pizza or no?
Yeah. Yes.
Definitely solid.
Very solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good crust.
It's crazy
Little
the amount
buttery.
of pizza places they have there. So yeah, the food was great. Like I said, the camaraderie was great. Now when we get to this game, obviously first half, kind of light on offense. We had
very.
some turnovers, the Mahomes interception, the McCaffrey fumble, the Pacheco fumble. So kind of sloppy. And first quarter was scoreless. And I know it had been a little, some time since there was it 13 years, I think, since there was a scoreless first quarter? For some reason, I thought they said that
Oh, I
in the
don't
Super
know.
Bowl. It was like it
Yeah.
doesn't happen that much, I know.
Let me see.
So that was kind of surprising. And the Niners, I think, early on, really the 2019
Yeah.
Super Bowl, that's what it was. I do remember him saying that now. But the Niners had a good mix of run and pass, and Nance and Romo were commenting on it really early on in this game, especially first quarter, and really into the second as well.
Yeah.
I did feel, and I agreed with what they said, that they dominated the line of scrimmage. It seemed like the Chiefs were getting stops for the most part on incomplete passes. Like the run, they were kind of getting whatever they wanted.
For the most
they weren't
part.
getting a lot of pressure on Purdy.
No.
So I thought it was almost a blessing in a sense. You had the field goal in the opening moments of the second quarter. Jake Moody setting a Super Bowl record that would be topped by Harrison Butker later in the quarter. But a 55-yard field goal. I was surprised that he made it.
Me too.
He had some problems with kicks this postseason and missed an extra point later in the game. That made it 3-0. Chiefs, you didn't have any success on their end. Like I mentioned, the fumble, the interception. Niners, 8 plays, 67 yards, capped off by a trick play. And Christian McCaffrey throwing a touchdown to Juwan Jennings, who actually had 2 touchdowns in this game. And you and Michael, and I honestly thought so too, that if they had won, he would have been the MVP. But that play, the trick plays in the Super Bowl are always big. That made it a 10-0 game. So at that point, it seemed like San Francisco was really in control. Obviously, you knew that the Chiefs were going to do their best to get some points before the half, but as well as the fact that they were getting the ball coming out of the break. They get close, down the field, but are forced to kick a field goal. And they were making a point of it too, that no team had ever gotten shut out in the first half of a Super Bowl and won.
Right.
So they kicked the field goal there, 10-3. Obviously important to get the points on the board. But the first play from scrimmage, well, actually, before we do that, I know you're going to chuckle out of me asking you this. What was your thought on the halftime show?
Oh, Usher?
Yeah.
I definitely thought it was very entertaining, dude. It was kind of tough too, like, because I feel like Usher obviously has a ton of hits.
Right.
So I feel like, some of the songs were like skimmed over. Like, I feel like it was like 3 seconds of like each one of his hits, like literally like 2 lines, and then he's already moved on to the next song. So I think it wasn't as enjoyable with that, but Alicia Keys was great. The whole roller skating part was cool. I thought it was pretty. It wasn't overdone too. I feel like it was pretty good, dude.
I think
What about
it's
you?
tough. When you have that amount of time, that's why you kind of have to do the things like you're saying, like rushing over the song and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not really into the whole performance thing, the costumes, the dance. Like it doesn't really do it for me. But I do have to say, back in the day, like the song "Yeah" with Ludacris and Little John, cool to see them there do that song. So I would say that was probably the best part of it for me. But it just, to be honest too, though, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but and you're just, listen, we're used to watching an NFL game the way, that we always watch it. And there's not these big, like, performances in a longer halftime. So to be honest though, while it was going on too, I was kind of like, all right, let's like get back to the
game. Yeah.
And I know that's not a popular thing for some people. I mean, other people I think agree with me. But yeah, I was just kind of thinking about the game. And after a fumble in the first half, Isaiah Pacheco, first drive of the second half for the Chiefs, almost fumbles it on a pitch. They lose a bunch of yardage. They're forced to punt. Fortunately for them, they get the ball back on a punt as well. And Harrison Butker sets that Super Bowl record that Jake Moody set in the first half with a 57-yard field goal. That was unbelievable. And I think a guy that gets overlooked, and obviously, listen, I mean, when we're thinking about football positions, kicker's not high on the list, but I do think Harrison Butker, in terms of like an all-time kicker, gets overlooked a lot. I mean, this is his third Super Bowl as well. And the fact that like this postseason, he was perfect. I think he missed 1 or 2 field goals all year. He made the game-winning kick last year. It just seems like whenever they need Harrison Butker, he's there to make the kick.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I've never really seen that guy falter.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's like almost to the point. I know kickers don't like just automatically get in, like just because of the position, but you would think, I mean, because the fact too that you would imagine, you know, he's got 3, 4, 5 years left that he's on track to be in the Hall of Fame, especially if he's part of another championship.
Oh yeah, definitely. Are there a lot of Hall of Fame kickers in?
No. I don't know the exact list, and I believe Morton Anderson's in the Hall of Fame. I think we were talking about this yesterday, but Vinatieri's expected to get in as well. You know, winning those few Super Bowls with the Patriots, as well as winning one with the Colts. And this is our list here. So not much. I was right with Morton Anderson.
Only 10.
George Blanda had the club foot. Had set the record for longest field goal for a while. I think he had the 62-yarder. Gary Anderson as well, someone who and then I don't know why they list Tucker there, because he's obviously not in yet, but we're expecting him to get in. So not many. So he'll look to join a short list for sure. But so after the 57-yarder, you know, that made it 10-6. Chiefs get the ball back again. And this was on a muffed punt. Now, when that happened, Tony,
my God, dude.
Did you feel like that was the turning point in the game? I know at the time, obviously, you were so optimistic, but you were like, you can't overcome a muff punt, and the next play they score a touchdown on a 16-yard pass to Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that coming from a mile away. I mean, dude, they lost. Kansas City got the ball back at what? The 30-yard line, maybe?
No, the 16.
16. That's ridiculous. Like, I mean, that to answer your question, certainly a huge turning point there. I don't know what that guy in the Niners was thinking about. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. I guess maybe whatever he was in with that like chief player, they're obviously like kind of in a little bit of a scuffle, but he's got to get away from that. He's just got to get away from that ball.
But also, I just feel like in crucial moments in a Super Bowl, guys charging down the field, why not? Like, you have to be the return hero. Like, a lot of times you probably should just call the fair catch.
Well, no, well, it hit the guy's foot, the other player's foot.
It did, but he also didn't call the fair catch.
I know, which is so odd. So, like, if that guy called the fair catch,
but it hits his foot, it's still anybody's
fault. It's still right?
Right.
But like, let's say, like, because I mean, in reality, if you called the fair catch, he would not have been able to catch that ball with those two players there. So would it have been like if he calls a fair catch and then like goes forward and gets hit by those two players?
It's all about him touching the ball. If he doesn't touch the ball, then the other team will just down it. But once it hits him, live ball.
Yeah, but if he calls the fair catch, but then gets hit by those players,
fair catch interference. If he gets hit before the ball is there,
yeah. So then it would have been like a fair catch. Basically.
Exactly. So
that's fucking tough.
That was really a turning point. So that gave Kansas City 13-10 lead. San Francisco, though, answers back 12 plays, 75 yards. Juwan Jennings, his second touchdown catch of the game, a 10-yarder from Brock Purdy. That made it 16-13. Butker ties it up, 12 plays, 69 yards. Chiefs were on the precipice of scoring a touchdown there. They settled for the field goal. And then really what won Kansas City this game, that final drive there for San Francisco, had a chance to run out the clock or score a touchdown. They hold him to a 53-yard field goal that Jake Moody makes that made it 19-16. Also, too, a big play, and I apologize for missing this, but on the Jennings touchdown, Moody has the extra point blocked. That was a turning point because then Kansas City didn't have pressure there late in that drive to have to score a touchdown. They settled for the field goal. That tied it at 16. Moody made it 19-16, but then you give Mahomes a minute 53. Again, almost scoring a touchdown. Kelsey getting down to the 10-yard line, throwing to Kelsey there in the end zone as the clock was winding down. But they settled for the field goal. Butker ties it. And then starting in overtime. So this was the first game under the new overtime rules. Your initial thought there, San Francisco, with the new overtime rules, both teams, no matter what, get to possess the ball. What was your thoughts? I mean, I know hindsight's 2020, but San Francisco electing to receive the ball there versus deferring and getting the ball second.
I mean, I kind of like it, honestly. I think even Romo said in the broadcast, giving your defense a chance to rest because they were on the field
They
for
were
a
gassed. Yep.
lot. But also it's like, I don't know, your defense also, I guess, really up until I guess that moment or right there in the fourth quarter, was doing a great job in shutting down. I thought the Chiefs. So I don't know. I thought it would have been a good idea to get the offense on the field, get them going, maybe put the pressure on the Chiefs to score, and then see what they can do. So I don't know. I kind of like it. What did you think?
I had to think about it for a second. I heard both sides of the argument, but then when you think about it, Tony, I know that you want the defense to rest, but I think because you have to look at this from the offensive side of the ball, the fact that going second, you know exactly what you need to do. For instance, if the other team scores a touchdown, kicks a field goal, you're in a fourth down, you're backed up in your own territory. At that point you have to go, and you don't get in the situation that you were with San Francisco where they didn't know what the Chiefs were going to do. They settled for the field goal. And then that lets the Chiefs know, okay, we got to at least get a field goal here. We also, if we score the touchdown, we win the game. It's just like you want to go second. Because like when the 49ers kicked that field goal there, knowing what was going to happen, they would have went for it on fourth down, and they didn't have that advantage because they went first.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, at the end of the day, though, I mean, you get the ball first. Your goal is to score,
right?
You got to put points on the board.
You got to get points on the board, but then you kick the extra point, and you give the other team the chance to score a touchdown and go for two and win. So you're leaving it up to them. At the end of the day, you're relying on your defense there.
Did you hear that Shanahan said that he would have went for two if they did score a touchdown in the first drive?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
but that's kind of interesting though, because then it's like if you don't get the two there, then it's like all they have to do is score the touchdown. They don't need to worry about the two. So again, leaving it up to them, and that we'll talk about it in a sec. But I don't know about the Shanahan with a comment like that, decisions in general. But they get stopped. Chiefs defense coming up big. Chris Jones applying a pressure. They had a man open in the end zone, but they settled for the field goal, 27 yards. So that made it 22-19. Mahomes carving up the San Francisco defense in some third downs, some fourth downs, but has former Jet Mecole Hardman open 3 yards out, corner of the end zone. Game winner, Kansas City 25-22. Winning, like I said, their third Super Bowl title in 5 years. Patrick Mahomes, his third MVP, joining Montana and Tom Brady, the only other guys to achieve that feat. With that, and I'd be interesting if other people could comment about this. And we talked about it, of course, when we were all watching it. But how crazy did you feel it was that Jim Nantz did not announce that Patrick Mahomes had won the Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, dude. Like I don't know,
that's clearly never happens.
Never happens. I don't know whose fault that was. That's so odd that Jim Nantz were to just glance over that. But you would still think like someone would have told him or said something. They never did, right?
No. And I feel like social media let off the hook because I looked. I didn't find too much. I think somebody said oh, I guess we're just letting Nantz name the MVP, which I didn't quite understand what they were saying. And I guess, because they talked to him. But thinking about it, did they talk to Mahomes first or was Kelce first?
No, it was Mahomes first.
It was Mahomes first. So maybe because they went to him first. But again, you gotta say it like that. I can't believe nobody's talked about that. Seems like he's getting off the hook. We'll see if we hear anything else today. But when we look at this game, a lot of factors to consider. When you look at Kansas City, the historical side, I mentioned Mahomes, joining Brady and Bradshaw, for winning, or not Brady and Bradshaw, but Brady and Montana for winning the 3 Super Bowl MVPs. Also winning his 3rd Super Bowl. The only other quarterbacks to do that, of course, Brady, Montana, Aikman, and Bradshaw. So joining elite company there. And then you think about Andy Reid, joining, you think about the coaches winning 3 Super Bowls, joining Jimmy Johnson, Bill Belichick and Chuck Noll in that department as well. So pretty historic on that side of things. And then it's just amazing too. You think about legacy and the spot that Patrick Mahomes was in last year, trailing in the fourth quarter. You think about a year ago, he had 1 Super Bowl title, had taken a big hit, was injured playing in the second half, trailing. And here we are a year later, and now he has 3 Super Bowl titles, matching what Brady did at the same age, and having a long career ahead of him, assumingly. It's just amazing what he's done. And just, you think about his career, 6 years, 3 Super Bowls, AFC Championship game every year. It's clearly something that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And I mean, people obviously already, it's Brady Mahomes conversation, who's better, whatever. I just think it's kind of nonsense, honestly.
Well, because you can't evaluate yet, because the career's.
I mean, it's like even Nance last night, we're talking to Kelsey. It's like, oh, like, so you're going for the 3rd one in a row, huh? And it's like, dude, like what are we talking about?
Well,
right
I think
now?
he was just asking that more so about him retiring.
Yeah, well, again, like, I mean, if you want to ask him if he's retiring or not, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But like, you're talking about going for the 3-peat, and it's like, again, same deal. It's like right away we're talking about that conversation. Yeah, like it's like, you literally just won the Super Bowl, and it's like now you're talking like, oh, Brady's like going to be, dethroned by Mahomes at some point, which is like, I mean, yeah, maybe it's projected to go like that. Obviously, it's incredibly young still, right? Mahomes is 28, 3 Super Bowls, kind of ridiculous. So, but you never know.
How about the fact too, he already has more playoff wins than Manning and Roethlisberger.
Crazy.
Both Mannings, actually, but I mean, obviously, you don't really think about Eli just because of the level of quarterback regular season. But yeah, those accolades are ridiculous. And also too, Andy Reid, if you think about how he was looked at before he came to Kansas City, can't win the big game, lost that Super Bowl against the Patriots, and now the fact that he has 3 Super Bowl titles and a chance to, add to that.
Yeah. I mean, and what's honestly super impressive about him too, because honestly, I thought like his play calling wasn't phenomenal last night.
But when they
but
needed
it's just when they need it, like all of a sudden he pulls out like a quarterback draw, like out of his back pocket. Like
was insane.
It was pretty crazy,
because and I talked about it. If they just handed that off, absolutely stuffed, literally stuffed. They had no chance on those short yardage situations.
So, and there was one other play where it was like a trick type of play that he pulled out of nowhere that I thought was kind of cool. Maybe it was just like an end around. I don't know.
Yeah, to Rice, I think
maybe
carried to Rice that they got a first down. It might have been a 4th down. It was a 3rd and short.
Yeah, whatever it may be. But it was like in those big moments he pulled out like a good play. So yeah, you got to give it to him. It's impressive.
Yeah. The innovation is unbelievable, and it just the matchup of the 2 guys. And it's funny too, you think about all those years with the Patriots winning Super Bowls. A lot of people always talked about this: coach, quarterback, kicker. We talked about all 3 for Kansas City. When you're buttoned up in that area, usually you're the team that is going to have the best chance to win these type of games.
Oh yeah,
knowing that is all set up for you. So what a season for Kansas City. Especially the fact too, you look at their last 3 playoff games, they were underdogs in all of them. And here they are winning the Super Bowl, and especially the way people were talking about them during the regular season, and then the fact, here we go again. Would you say, Tony, just based on how we've seen them play in previous years, that this was their most impressive title?
Victory?
Yeah,
I guess so. I mean, I guess it was because I guess they haven't played as well.
Right.
But I mean, wouldn't it be more impressive if they were just dominant the entire year?
Well, no, but I'm saying because the fact that they weren't. You know what I mean? And all the other years, it was like, well, their offense is clearly the best in the league, and it seemed like this year the defense had the most impact than it had in the previous years by a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. At the end of the day, but I mean, when you think about like their like they're like Mahomes' wins in the Super Bowl against like the different teams he's played. Would you say that like you would say the Niners is like this is the most impressive win?
Yes, because no, I'm just saying, just based on what type of season they
Right.
had, what type of team they had, and also, how the game started.
Right, but like
First half,
yeah,
really,
tough.
just the fact they're able to grind
Yeah.
it out. And it's not like, you had the option of just hucking it deep to Tyreek Hill,
Mhm.
too. Because I think just receiver wise, all the drops this
Right.
year, and then it's scary thought for the rest of the league.
Mhm.
They're going to upgrade that position this offseason.
Do you think the Niners have been the most skilled team they played in the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, you look at it. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue with the Bucks, the Super Bowl that they won. That team
Yeah.
was loaded. You think about Evans, Godwin,
Yeah.
the way Fournette was playing, the way that defense was playing. That was probably the toughest task,
Mhm.
for sure. So yeah, just what an accomplishment. And just crazy that we're just seeing history before our eyes, and it's just so exciting to think moving forward. Everybody's going to be coming for the Chiefs, and what it's going to look like going forward. Big offseason ahead of us, a lot of questions with the draft, so excited about that. But on the other side of things, definitely a tough pill to swallow for San Francisco. They get the rematch 4 years later. They have a 10-point lead again, aren't able to get the job done. Just a really a tough one. And when you look at this, Tony, you think about the game against the Patriots when he was the OC, and then these two Super Bowls for Kyle Shanahan. Any type of criticism deserved here? Any type of just kind of, do you think even like a question needs to be asked about him, in a big spot?
I don't think. I mean,
just in a big spot, nothing else, but just his big game coaching
right.
ability.
I don't know. If you look at this game for him, at least for the way I look at it, I mean,
Yeah.
I think he coached this game very well. I mean, you can say what you want about your the overtime decision, I guess, but I don't know. Who the defensive coordinator, Wilkes?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I think
Wilkes second half soft coverage. You're tight, basically.
Dude, I don't know if you heard me talk about it.
Yeah, I
Like,
did.
dude, I was like, dude, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I don't know if you saw it too, but I think in either late in the fourth quarter or in overtime, like Shanahan took a timeout at one point and was like, I don't like why are you playing the defense this way?
Yeah.
And like even Romo was talking about it, and it's like he was circling these five guys. All of a sudden, these five guys are in the backfield, like soft coverage. And every play was like a 5-6 yard gain, whether it was a pass to Kelsey or Pacheco being able to run or pass to whoever. And it's like, why? Like, I don't understand that.
It seemed like they were kind of like messing up in both regards. Cause you think about it, when they brought pressure, sometimes they batted the pass down or sack Mahomes, but a lot of times they would bring that pressure and then Pacheco or McKinnon would just go out wide open.
Yeah.
And then when they didn't do that, the middle of the field was open for Kelsey.
Right. So, but I mean, I don't know. Like, what did they do? Like the first half, even the first three quarters, it's like
a lot of pressure. I think the Chiefs' offensive line stepped it up in the second half because
really,
I mean, right? I mean, don't we think first half he was under duress a lot?
Yeah, no, he was.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so like ridiculous to watch and just see Mahomes just being led down the field almost. Like,
yeah,
it's tough, dude.
And the fact too that it was Hardman to catch that touchdown after he had the big 52-yarder in the first half before the Pacheco fumble. That was pretty crazy to see. But when you just look at this from San Francisco, though, I mean, do you think that any unit, any person on the team like deserves blame for this loss, or do you just look at it in general, the fact that you can't let Kansas City hang around? They had a chance earlier in the game to build more of a lead and they didn't, and that's what ends up costing them at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. You could say that. I mean, if you want to try and boil it down to one moment, I guess I would blame the flubbed punt return, dude, like that
short field too.
Like, and then next play touchdown, you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. But you think about it too, these extra opportunities. So you think about that. Then you think about the game before with Flowers. Though the taunt, like those little
Yeah, those
things
little
you
things,
can't
dude.
do. You
Yeah.
can't make a mistake against Kansas City.
Yeah.
I think we've seen that. you
Yeah.
know?
It's ridiculous.
And it is tough too for San Francisco. What do they do? They got some free agents. And then the Greenlaw Achilles injury. That's a tough one. Going back on the field, tearing the Achilles. Hate to see that.
Like, what is that, dude? That sucks. Like, that is
Yeah.
sad. I know Niners had like what 3 injuries last night.
Yeah. But Debo went back in.
Debo went back in.
I forgot who the other injury was.
There was the torn Achilles, and then there was some defend. It was a defender. It was like a linebacker.
I know who
think.
you're saying. I forgot who it was.
Right.
though.
Yeah. I mean, too. I think it was his knee.
Okay, a knee injury.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I could probably find out who it was.
Yeah, I'm just looking on here. It wasn't Fred Warner. Greenlaw was the guy. It wasn't Gregory. I don't know if it was Hargrove. I don't think it was
Hargrove.
Armstead.
Well, I don't think it was.
I guess maybe it was someone that wasn't like, that heralded.
I remember them talking about it. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, that's gonna be a tough loss.
I think it was a linebacker, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, what the hell, dude?
But what I was gonna kind of ask you is
Dre Greenlaw.
no, I guess it wasn't. Or whatever it is, he must have went back in.
Yeah, oh maybe.
That's what it is. Because
Kittle returned.
returned. But what I was going to ask you, moving forward for San Francisco, what do they do? Like, I mean, I know it's not like a simple thing, but when you look at this team, what do you think they need to change, to add, to finally get over this hump?
I mean, the Niners?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like nothing really that different. I mean, at the end, maybe you can bolster some of your defense.
Secondary.
Yeah, the secondary is what I'm thinking of. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Brock Purdy like made it to the Super Bowl. Like, that's kind of ridiculous, to go with that type of quarterback with that storyline. And I mean, you did it with possibly one of the better all around teams in the league, and you lost in overtime against, who people are going to be arguing on the greatest quarterback to ever play the game,
Yeah.
So I don't think it's an indictment on the organization necessarily. And there's no way, again, like off the top of your dome, you're thinking of in terms of replacing anybody. I mean, who are you gonna like replace and be like, oh well, this is gonna be a surefire. Like, we're way better now in this. Like, if you're gonna replace Shanahan, you're gonna say, oh wow, we're way better off with this new
Bring in
coach.
Belichick?
Are you better off with Belichick?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I don't think
No,
so,
I'm
dude.
just kidding about Belichick.
Yeah,
but
but you know what I'm
I
saying?
think though, like we're kind of coming to a head where, just hypothetically,
Right.
next year they make the Super Bowl, lose again. Then it's like, I mean, how many times do you give him the opportunity to
Shanahan?
Yeah, to is there a cutoff point for like coming short though?
I guess if you move on from Purdy, maybe, right? Like, I feel like if you were to do that, but at the end of the day, I mean, he gives you the best chances to get and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's no other coach out there that can do that. And then on top of it, like, you already have this team that, is being led by this, I guess you can say, I don't want to use the word misfit, but like underdog, certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you can't really mess with that coach-quarterback relationship.
Yeah. One thing though, just thinking too, I don't know what you think about this, but I think second half they threw the ball maybe more than they should, because it seemed like for the most part McCaffrey was getting, like, you know what I mean? It seemed like they almost should have done like my Madden strategy, like second half, and just like ran it on 3 downs.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Purdy had some great throws and everything like that
did.
too. And also, I don't know, I was kind of thinking to myself when they were throwing it more, but like, maybe McCaffrey was like getting kind of tired.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
He had 8 catches
oh,
for 80 yards
yeah,
and
and it's,
touchdowns.
I
Also
mean,
had 80 on the ground rushing.
every play he's doing something,
Yeah,
whether it's
he's not
just
coming out of the game.
yeah,
Really
yeah,
either.
yeah, never ever coming out of the game. And it's like I also was, like that game. I mean, I think they were running him back to back plays like multiple times.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, I mean, I'm sure like give him a break. So, you know,
But I do think it's just I would feel very frustrated myself, like if I'm San Francisco though, because it just seems like like you've done so many things well, like for the most part, the coach obviously you feel good about bringing him in, what you've done, John Lynch, what you've done drafting, the fact too that you made a couple big mistakes, giving Jimmy G a contract extension, trading the farm for Trey Lance. Drafting Solomon Thomas, number 2 overall, trading up for him. And because you picked Brock Purdy, because you traded for Christian McCaffrey, because you drafted Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel in the middle rounds,
right.
And George Kittle, you've made up for all that. And you've done so many good things.
Right.
I would have a tough time today reflecting and just not thinking other than, okay, I can upgrade my secondary, but what else am I going to do? And you think no way, no how there's any type of thought process for them about possibly switching out Purdy. But you think no way that gets discussed.
I mean, how could it?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Do you?
I think like last year, for instance, they were thinking about bringing in Brady.
Right.
And then also you got to think about who's going to be available. I doubt they're thinking like, oh yeah, we got to bring in Kirk Cousins. Like
yeah,
they're
no way,
not thinking
dude.
that. Russell Wilson, same ordeal. You wouldn't think that they're thinking that. So you kind of run out of guys.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know why I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
Brock Purdy hasn't really done anything to show me that he's not ready to run that back. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, people said that about him this year. Like, oh, he made the playoffs, got injured. Obviously that sucks, but didn't really have much playoff experience, let alone Super Bowl experience. And here he comes in the next season, does it all again, makes it to the big game, looks great doing it. I mean, he really didn't have any major mistakes. And I mean, I don't know, you even watch him. I mean, he has a great awareness of the game. He's like leading up to the game, doing all those interviews. They would talk about how good he is of a manager of the game too. I mean, and you watch it. I mean, those plays where he was starting to pass, get the ball downfield. You see him in the pocket, and he's like stoic in the pocket. And the second he gets a little glimpse of something, I mean, he's out. Like he uses his legs really well, looks downfield, throws the ball well. I don't think you would want to get rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, I would say too, like I think overall he played pretty well yesterday. 16 incompletions. I mean, that is a lot. And I do think he did miss a couple throws, and obviously too, it's his second year. He's getting better. But one thing that I just think about is I think it was the third down throw before they kicked the field goal in overtime. I think it Jennings who was wide open in the corner, but the rush came.
He had no
threw it
time
over his head. Yeah. So I think there are some things he could work on, but like I said, it's really tough. And you think back to a year ago, the type of season that Philadelphia had this year, San Francisco, it is very tough to not have the Super Bowl hangover and get back to that point next year. So they have a long offseason ahead of them. But I think when we think about teams that lost and trying to recover the following year, they probably have the best chance to avoid that disappointment more than any other team that we've seen in the recent past.
Yeah, no, I think so too. It's going to be interesting to see how Purdy does respond next season.
Yeah. I mean, just think back, recently, go back a couple. Obviously, what happened to Philadelphia this year. Then you think about last season, the Rams following it up.
Yeah, not good.
What happened there? And
even the Bucks.
Yeah, the Bucks. Yeah, and they won obviously, but same deal there. The Chiefs after they lost to the Bucks, lost to the Bengals. So there's been a lot of disappointment. San Francisco, I believe, had a losing record because Jimmy G got hurt the year after they went to the first Super Bowl against Kansas City as well. There's been a lot of examples of that. Atlanta, when they lost to the Patriots, didn't make it back the following year. I believe Philadelphia didn't make the playoffs after they won the Super Bowl. Patriots lost in the first round the next year. So there's a lot of examples of that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of nuts that this is the end of the line for this season. Like kind of like crazy to think, here we are. It's the second week of February, and we're not going to have a regular season football game till the second week of September.
Yeah, no,
It's
it
a long
is.
time.
It really is. I mean, I guess
9 months.
that's what we said last year too, though.
Yeah,
I
well,
think it
baseball
kinda-
though. Baseball
Yeah,
is
yeah,
their
baseball
plus
is true. Hockey,
the
yes,
Rangers.
yes,
Like
yes, yes.
let's go.
Yeah, they better start fucking dominating now, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And like so much like left in terms of like the offseason and just what changes they're gonna make. But what would you say probability as we stand here today that next year we're gonna be talking about the Jets in the Super Bowl?
Honestly, right now, dude, I'm confidently can say 0.
No, it's funny though. I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
Like I don't know. I have this thing. I think Rodgers. I will be shocked if he makes 10 starts next year, right or no?
You think he's gonna get hurt again?
Yes, because I think they're gonna botch it with the offensive line. Salah, like there's gonna be some type of issue.
That sucks, dude.
More chance that the Jets have a successful year next year, or that movie with Ryan Reynolds is a box office bonanza that we saw the preview for last.
Oh God, dude. I guess the Ryan Reynolds movie, not Deadpool, obviously. Whatever other one they had,
Yeah.
like for kids or whatever.
No,
I think it
but
was for If or something.
How funny was it? How Michael was cracking up when I said we gotta go see.
Yeah.
We got Corey saying agreed defense at the end of the game was brutal. Playing 5 backs is pathetic when you know the Chiefs are going to throw 5-yard daggers.
Why is it that we see in big games like coaches just blow it?
Well, because it depends who you're playing. Like I could see, like for instance, if Kansas City still had Tyreek Hill, okay, you're worried about man tight coverage because he's just going to get past this guy. But the Chiefs, I mean, I guess Kelsey man coverage, he could beat it, but maybe Rice. But I think that would have given you your best shot. It just bringing the house. But then again, like we said, Mahomes with the dump off passes is good.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it's tough to defend, obviously.
Tough spot. So it's really remarkable. What they've been able to do. There's been a ton of comments. If you could go up to Josh B, I'm just kind of curious what you think about this. Let me see here. It
was after this.
No,
keep
going up.
Going up.
Yeah. Mahomes being better than Joe Montana. What are your thoughts about that one? I think 4 Super Bowls for Cool Joe.
Right.
Obviously Mahomes has 3.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's so tough to do that, especially when you have quarterbacks in different eras, Like, it's not like these 2 quarterbacks didn't even play in like the game wasn't the same,
Right.
So I mean, you can't really look at stats. I feel Super Bowl victories you can maybe look at. Obviously Montana has more. We mentioned that. Impact player. I mean, I guess you can try to like now boil down each Super Bowl run. What were the teams that Montana was on? Like, who did he have?
Yeah, I mean, he had great teams.
He had great teams. Mahomes also. I mean, I think Mahomes kind of like came into a. Mahomes. Mahomes kind of came into a perfect scenario. When he started becoming quarterback of the Chiefs, right? I mean, you think again, like the coaching, the pieces around him. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do you think the Niners teams that Montana had were as good as what Mahomes has?
I think the Niners had more at that time. It had more. I think the league was different in terms of like the team that they had, all these Hall of Famers and stuff. And I just feel like there's so much more talent spread across the league now that it's more difficult to dominate now. Obviously, Montana's numbers, I mean, are just unbelievable, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the record as a starter, 117 and 47. I mean, that's
kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. And then, the 3-time Super Bowl MVP as well. Really was a tremendous player.
Jesus.
So, yeah, I think it's one of those things. There's no right answer for it. But again, I think you got to wait till the career is over.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, though, it's more than likely, obviously, anything happens. We saw Brady not win a Super Bowl for a long time. I think 10 years, actually, 9 or 10 years. But you would think you would feel it's almost a certainty that Mahomes will end up passing him in terms of Super Bowls. He's one away from tying. He's 28. So
Yeah, no, definitely.
but yeah, no, I mean Montana was legendary.
So, no comment?
Well, I think you can't say
Just
it. Now.
can't
I
say.
think
Yeah.
you could still give him the edge because he has the one more ring. But I
Oh,
know
yeah.
by the time it's all said and done, Mahomes will be considered superior.
So, do you think if all that Mahomes has to do to be considered superior is get more Super Bowls, you think? At
Yeah,
that point, then it's just yeah. Okay.
How you feeling though? Because I feel like yesterday, seeing you on the couch, like I was telling you about, it seemed like the Phillies just won the World Series. I mean, you
Stop
okay?
it,
You
dude.
okay
No,
now?
I'm fine now. It was
You have to
just
admit though, you were pretty.
because it was so stupid, dude. I just thought that was so dumb. Like, what a terrible way to end the game, like for the
But
Niners,
but you're
obviously. Like,
kind of saying that the Niners blew it.
yeah, I think they did blow it.
Yeah. So, but then you think they blew it. But
Yeah.
then you don't think it's anybody's specific fault.
Well, if I had to put on one, I would say the defensive coordinator. I just think that was a bullshit strategy.
Wilkes, I mean, doesn't have the best track record. Was
Panthers,
the head coach
right?
of the Cardinals. Had Josh Rosen fired Kingsbury
Right.
in, and then was the interim Panthers coach last season.
Ugh.
But yeah, I mean, he hasn't. I think they had D'Amico Ryans last year. They had
Yeah.
Saleh. Even Saleh was probably a better defensive coordinator when he was there. But yeah, I could see that. So, but I mean, I just but you're saying now though, you're just kind of like it's baseball season. It happened.
I mean, I'm not going to be upset that much about it because I mean, two teams I don't really, I'm not a fan of either team necessarily. You know, I don't follow. I'm not a fan. So,
are you still all in for the Jets next year, or did this year kind of change things? Because I know, like going into this year, you were all in. And
well, I'm a Jets fan now, so that's it.
So you want next year? You'd rather see the Jets win than Purdy?
Yeah.
But if it's Jets Niners, I feel like it's a win-win for you next year, or no?
I mean, I guess if it's Jets Niners, obviously I'm rooting for the Jets, though.
But would you have the same level of disappointment if it's a similar circumstance, but San Francisco beats the Jets next year? Like, would you be sitting on the couch with the?
I would be more disappointed, probably. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Because the thing that I think we don't talk about as Jets fans, because we're just so desperate. But Rodgers doesn't have the best postseason track record,
no,
to say the least.
He's got to fucking get there.
Yeah. It's then we still have to improve a lot, on our end.
I know it's kind of crazy to think about how much needs to be improved.
But I know it's multiple things, but do you think the thing that's most important is the line?
The offensive line? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like you said, I mean, if O-line gets botched, Rodgers get hurt
down.
again. Yeah. So,
but I do feel like they really need another receiver, though, really bad, really, really bad, like a star,
right?
Just that the teams can't just blanket Garrett Wilson,
I don't know. I mean, you think there's going to be someone in the draft, someone they could draft?
I think you got to just get
someone within the league.
Evans, I feel like is going to stay with Baker.
Probably.
They have built a rapport, so I think you got to go off for AJ Brown or T. Higgins. T. Higgins would be good, but I think Cincinnati will do everything in their power to keep him.
Oh my God, yeah, definitely.
And
next season's gonna be so crazy.
It is
with people being healthy and kind of resetting and seeing where the chips fall again.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a crazy offseason. And it's interesting too. One thought, because you think about money, you think about not having to give up anything because he'll be a free agent. I think, but Hopkins is interesting too because obviously that's not a long-term play,
right?
But he's one of the most sure-handed receivers in the league, and also Devontae Adams. But it seems like Adams likes Antonio Pierce, so he might want to stay. But I kind of forgot about that whole thing because that was picking up a lot of steam that this year Jets are going to get Adams.
So, yeah, definitely.
What do you think? Do you think they get him or no?
I want to say yes. Aaron Rodgers typically gets what he wants. I feel like that's what he wants, right?
But what I just said, the fact that he was a Raider fan growing up. He loves Antonio Pierce. You still think it's just because he's going to think back to me and Rodgers. We didn't get to finish the deal together.
Yeah.
We had such success. Let's just do it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I mean, if he wants to win, obviously, too, he wants to win. I would think going to the Jets gives him the better opportunity to win the Super Bowl, right?
Next year, probably. I mean, I guess it depends who the Raiders get a quarterback, right. But even
I mean, do you think that that's a conversation right now that's being had with Adams and even the Raiders too, being, hey, like I'm gonna leave if you guys don't get a quarterback. Like,
Yeah. I think there's definitely something to be said
yeah,
there. But I do think Pierce is like going for like the quick turnaround because
yeah,
you can't be sleepwalking in that division. Now that you think that Harbaugh is there,
yeah.
you would think Denver's gonna be improved. Who knows? But they do have Sean Payton.
Hmm.
Obviously, the Chiefs just won back to back. Like, you gotta be buttoned up.
Yeah, that's gonna
Um,
be crazy.
yeah. And I think for the Raiders too, I mean, I know they want to be competitive as soon as possible, but I think,
Mhm.
I mean, it would be their best interest to collect assets. So if you're gonna get, multiple draft picks for Adams,
Yeah.
it probably makes sense.
Who wins
No?
that division, you think, next season?
Kansas City. Right.
Like, you think it comes down to like the last week of the season? Yeah.
Good. And I think the Chargers are the number one contender. Harbaugh, the tone, setting the tone, bringing toughness
Mhm.
to the Chargers. Much needed.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like I said, an exciting offseason ahead. Also, we have to like pat ourselves on the back. What were your thoughts on winning the playoff pick
Oh, the
segment,
picks.
by a half point on the total?
Oh.
And after you were like hesitant, letting me go with the Kansas City pick. I mean, how did you feel about the whole thing in general?
I mean,
It was a tight race all postseason.
yeah, tight race all postseason. Obviously, the game too. I mean, you couldn't have really picked a closer game
Yeah,
too. Like to
right.
the total in terms
the
of who
spread.
won too. Yeah, exactly. To the spread, unbelievable. But yeah, obviously that's a huge win. What's the deal though? Like, do we owe them and then they owe us something, right? Or
I mean, I guess it's like we have to have a meeting of the minds on
yeah,
Sunday.
Sunday, I guess.
Yeah.
That would be quite the meeting of the minds on Sunday.
Quite.
Yeah,
And I think
too.
we'll
my
have
God.
more established terms for next year. Plus, I think next year
Yeah.
what we'll do, which will make it fair,
Yeah.
rotate each week with going first.
Yeah.
I think that set us back. And obviously,
Yes.
that's our fault.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
weren't even thinking about that.
Mhm.
But I think we did have more
Yeah.
success down the stretch when we didn't have to go second every time.
Oh yeah, sure. And I mean, we'll obviously the first time doing this, you're gonna be
Yeah.
some growing pains. Maybe set a precedent on when we start bringing in totals and whatnot.
But
'cause,
don't you feel like this year, like because of the pick segment, you personally like learned the most, like just about like spreads, picks, like versus going into the pick segment?
Oh
this
yeah,
year?
absolutely.
Like you have a different like outlook on it, like than you did going into.
Yes, certainly, dude.
Yeah.
And that's not. I mean, I learn about sports because of the show every day.
Right.
It's sick, dude. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But I feel like next year you're confident, like, okay, we won the playoffs.
Yes.
We're not making the same mistakes that we did last
Yes,
year.
correct, dude. Yeah,
Let's
I feel like
go.
we just tried to get maybe too cute with some picks
Yes.
every week.
And I always talk about this.
Ah.
You can't count on middle level teams always taking care of business.
Yeah.
More times than not, they're probably going to slip up to a team that, even though they're better than them,
Mhm.
but they're not a great team, so they
Yeah,
can
yeah.
be beaten. And I think sometimes we overlook that.
Oh yeah, certainly.
So yeah, excited for that next year. But what a season! Big off season coming up. We got the draft next month. It looks like Caleb Williams is going to go to the Bears unless someone knocks their socks off with a trade. Where's Justin Fields going to go? That's a big thing to consider. So a lot to talk about this offseason. And of course, Super Bowl 59 next year is going to be in New Orleans, Tony. So before we go to hockey, we do have to talk about this past weekend's waste management.
Wow.
Phoenix Open. It goes to a playoff, and he is now 2 for 2 in his career on the PGA Tour and playoffs. Nick Taylor, who won the Canadian Open, this past year, wins the waste management in a one-hole playoff over grizzled vet Charlie Hoffman, who had a 3-shot lead on the back nine yesterday, but was unable to come away with the win. And Nick Taylor making birdie on the second playoff hole to take out Hoffman. Taylor also birdied the first playoff hole as well. Both were on hole 18. But I think this tournament, listen, I mean, there's always, a big field here, some impressive scores, but I think winning it this year, Tony, I think deserves some extra praise just because from a weather perspective, what you plan for this tournament, you're thinking 70 and sunny every day. The fact that day one, there's a 3.5-hour delay, there's a frost delay every day. And the fact, too, that it was 45 degrees when this tournament started. And most mornings were in the high 30s, low 40s. Yesterday, we had our best weather day by far in the 60s. But a job well done by Nick Taylor here.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, you got to admit that. You said it too in the playoff with the weather. It's good for him, dude. The Canadian guy. Good for him.
You know, 60 in round 1, and that was over the course of 2 days and some lift clean in place.
Yeah.
But regardless, the way golfers were shooting, I believe he had a 5-shot lead over second place after day 1. That was impressive. Went 70 in round 2, 68 in round 3, 65 yesterday. Birdies the 2 playoff holes. You have to feel for Charlie Hoffman. Like I was saying to you yesterday, I believe this was his 17th Waste Management Open. He shoots 7 under yesterday, has the shot on the back stretch, but unable to get it done in the playoffs. But by virtue of his second place finish, he receives a special invitation to this week's Genesis Invitational, the elevated event coming from Riviera, Pacific Palisades, California. Tiger Woods' event, Tiger's return. So we know he's pumped for that. Tied for third, Sam Burns, who shot 64 yesterday. Also, Scotty Scheffler, who had yet another great week here, comes up short on the three-peat. But nevertheless, a great week at 18 under, 68, 66, 66, 66. Another top 5. I mean, clearly, I would say by a wide margin, Tony, the most consistent golfer on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, definitely. And he was, I feel like day 4, he came in, I think I want a 16 under, maybe, and he was just, again, I kept up his level of play. And again, you say consistency. I mean, round 2, 3, and 4. Shot 66.
Yes,
consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to be hard pressed to think after not winning one last year that he's not going to win at least one major this year. You have to pencil that in. Another burdening star on tour, Sahith Theegala, the heartbreak in this tournament 2 years ago. Had a lead on day 1 for most of the day. Obviously, once the resumption, Nick Taylor sees that lead. But he shot 65 on day 1. 64 round 2, and then a pair of 69 overs the weekend. So finished in a solo 5th, 17 under. Doesn't get the job done, but yet again, Tony, like I'm saying, an up-and-coming star and some victories, and I think some big tournament victories are in Sahith Theegala's future.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see. I don't know. He kind of pisses me off sometimes because I feel like I said yesterday, I mean, he makes a couple mistakes and he gets so tight, like visibly angry. And it's like, all right, this guy is like downtrodden. I mean, it seems like he doesn't use that to his advantage. He doesn't roll things off his shoulders much. It seems like he carries mistakes with him. And again, like yesterday, I think was indicative of that. I think at one point he was 19 under, I want to say, maybe. But again, like makes one mistake and then it just kind of he allows it to snowball. And you mentioned, the total breakdown here last year.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. His first couple rounds hot out of the gate, and then again, I mean, round 3 and 4 shot 69 each. I don't know. I think he can work on his mental game a little bit.
Yeah, and 26 years old though. I think a lot of golf.
Got time.
Yeah, left to be played. So you feel good there. Jordan Spieth has always had success in this tournament, and has been playing well. Early on this season, he finished tied for 6th with Maverick McNeely, 4 under in his round yesterday, and then 68 round 1, 66 in round 2. Definitely had a strong tournament. And I think sometimes he'll struggle with consistency a little bit. But we know, he's one of the best golfers on tour. And I know it's been a while since he won a major, but it seems like, he's brushed up on a couple things this year. And I mean, I don't think, I don't know what you think, but I don't think we could rule him out on not winning a major this year as well. I mean, he's always in the mix, it seems like.
Yeah, another golf. Like you said, always in the mix, but never gets over that hump, I feel, right?
3-time major champion. His last major win was 2017. Had the tough couple of years, but has won some tournaments in recent years. So it seems like he's making his way back. It's just a matter for everything clicking with him. I think sometimes he struggles, off the tee, makes up for it with the short game. But if you can have a week where he's striking it off the tee, not losing balls, not hitting balls into the rough, out of bounds, that he could put it all together. It's just a matter of being consistent.
Major win this season?
I
don't think you said.
I didn't say it, but if I had to pick somebody that I didn't say, it would be him, honestly, because the talent is there. Adam Scott also tied for 8th with Kirk Kitayama and Cameron Young.
Michael.
Is fired up.
Thank you,
Justin Thomas, we talked about his scoring average here. Was in the mix most of the week, but settles for a tied for 12th at 12 under. So, another strong tournament for him. But, overall, I think it was, a great weekend of golf despite the conditions, Tony. And I'm excited for the rest of the season. A lot of golf yet to be played this year. All 4 majors, the Players Championship, Riviera on Thursday. A lot to be excited
Are we
about.
gonna get some better weather this weekend?
Yes, I looked it up. I think the lowest the temperature will be is 60 degrees. So it's going to be nice. Perfect weather for Tiger.
Yeah.
All of his aches and pains. I mean, I think that sets up nicely.
And I honestly, I do like, I don't know, I like seeing like golfers play in like long sleeve shirts. I don't know if that like
Really?
does something. Yeah, like the way Scotty looked honestly yesterday with the khakis and he had like whatever shirt on and then like a black sweater over it, like just looked fresh, dude. Like I think that's like perfect, like nice 60-degree weather, long sleeve, a quarter zip or something. Like probably got to be so comfy, like just golfing out there,
But it
man.
is kind of nice too, though. 70 degrees, full sun, light breeze, shorts and khakis is nice.
Do they?
You can't do it on tour.
Can't do
Only
it on tour.
live or practice rounds or
Right.
the Ryder Cup President's
I was
Cup.
gonna say because I feel like I see Koepka all the time in shorts.
Right, live.
Yeah.
And speaking of live, I don't know if you saw, but DJ won at Las Vegas Country Club.
Oh, good for him.
So they had it at the Super Bowl site. I watched some of the coverage.
Pretty smart move by them.
Yeah, but still the crowds, not
Minimal?
there. Very minimal. So it just, I don't know. It's such a back and forth thing with that. But
You think it's because it's live or because it was just in Vegas Super Bowl weekend?
Oh no, it's live.
Oh,
It's live.
really?
And it's like, I don't. I just don't. Without a merger, I don't see them ever getting the draws. You know what the problem is? I just don't think the way golf is from a viewership standpoint.
Right.
I think playing numbers, like casual
Mhm.
golfers playing golf, I think rounds have been going through the roof for
Yeah,
years. But watching, there's just not enough eyeballs for 2 golf leagues to get a solid viewership, solid attendance.
Did you watch any of the tournament?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, but like I said, scarce crowds.
Right.
And the thing that's a shame is that course is beautiful.
Yeah.
You see the whole strip in the background. It was pretty
Really?
awesome, but for live, they're not getting the numbers.
Was
you know?
anyone like getting rowdy there? Nothing. No.
I mean, they got music playing. It's just, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just,
That's tough.
and also too, we're not going to have a back-to-back situation this week at Riviera. John Rahm won this tournament last year, obviously not eligible. And also, the winner of the previous year, Joaquin Niemann, Tony. So the last golfer that's currently on the PGA Tour to win this event was Max Homa, 2021. Obviously, he's had a strong track record in the state of California. So definitely excited for this tournament. Now, if you had to say, and I think I know what you're going to say, but I'm curious your response here. More excited for the overall being that, it's an elevated event this week. There's going to be top talent. So more excited to see the best of the best or to see Tiger tee it up.
I guess Tiger.
Yeah, just because it's Tiger.
Yeah.
Are you confident though?
Well,
about
the
him?
event is pretty dope. I think so. Because I mean, he's got to be pretty fresh. I mean, the freshest as he can get, right?
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think. If you had to guess though, first round, what do you think he's firing?
It's a par 70.
Let me just it's par 71.
Par 71. First round, I don't know, 66.
500. Wow, coming out guns
500.
blazing.
Yeah, let's go 500.
I
Yeah.
mean, there'll be a lot of buzz if that happens. That's for sure. So yeah, exciting stuff. We'll do a preview on Wednesday. But let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rink Washington made the full split save. Are you kidding me? Turn. Side of the net. Between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pastrnak trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right. So going back. Oh, and by the way, Corey, Instagram comment here says to fire Steve Wilkes and the special teams coordinator. Obviously, the muff punt, the blocked extra point, the coverage. I mean, hard to argue that point.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it is hard to argue. Special teams maybe blew it. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I was going to say, Tony, if we could just rewind a little bit here. Friday night, you had the Rangers in Chicago.
Correct.
Had a 3-1 lead.
Yes.
Going to third period. Igor's return, first start post All-Star break. They almost blow it. Zibanejad wins it in OT.
Yeah.
Did you get to catch this?
I'm trying to remember. She said so long ago. Friday night, yes.
Okay.
What were we doing Friday night? Horseshoe? Yeah.
What did you see out there? And thoughts on Igor, just total execution, concern about the third period. Where were you at?
Yeah, I mean, definitely some concern about the third period there. I don't think Igor looked phenomenal. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I guess, you get the win, took it to overtime, scoreless in the third, you let up 2. It's not a great look here. Obviously, I love that how, your first line is contributing again. Kreider had a goal and assist, of course, and then, Lafreniere had a goal. We know about, you mentioned Zibanejad already. But I don't know. Igor, 28 to 31. I mean, I guess it's a high save percentage, but you still 3 goals against. I mean, I guess that's what he's averaging this season, but you would have liked to see 1 or 2 goals let up. Like, I don't know, 3. And it's 2 in the third, too. I mean, come on, man. Mrazek looked pretty good, though. I will say he was challenged. I mean, he had definitely some big time saves. The Rangers could have easily had been up 2 or 3 goals, I think, at this point, and not even, given the Blackhawks a chance to go to overtime if it wasn't for Mrazek. But I don't know. I mean, I think Igor could have done better. That's really what I was looking at. I mean, a win is a win. It's against a shit team. Whatever. Who cares?
Wow.
But,
so, I mean, some negativity.
Yeah, of course, some negativity. I mean, it wasn't anything decisive. We said, let's go, like fucking 7-2, whatever. But it's 4-3 in OT. I had to take it there, whatever. But, you're looking at, you want to see something better from Igor, dude.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, did you watch any of it?
Let me see. So Friday, no.
Yeah, no.
Just kind of, saw the box
I don't
score,
know,
saw
dude.
the Twitter stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think it honestly, Tony, I mean, I said this last week. I mean, I think it further cements the point that for right now, Jonathan Quick deserves to be your starting goalie.
Rangers got absolutely bullied in the face-off circle, winning less than 40%.
Vinny Cutlets.
It's a good question.
Michael?
Vinny Cutlets, dude. Off night. Well, first of all, pump the brakes, Michael. We still win.
Is it 4 games?
All right. 4 victories? Yeah, it's 4 in a row.
1 before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And 3 out. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a positive thing. By the way, Igor is confirmed, by the way, 10:32 Eastern time. That was confirmed. Markstrom still unconfirmed for tonight. So Igor gets another opportunity. Flames have been playing better. So, if he plays the way he did in this game, I mean, he might end up getting pulled.
Yeah.
Right? Or
good.
No? The Flames are clearly better than Chicago.
Also, sorry, I just want to bring this up. To Michael's statement, Michael, all we need is a third line center. The third line center was, 2 for 10 in the face-off circle. So,
who's the third line center?
Brodzinski was the third line center.
He scored for the second straight game?
He did score. But I'm just saying, though, like, you want face-off wise, what
happened to Vinny face-off wise?
50%. So, I mean, that's lower.
Great.
It's lower than his average, but his average is super high. How about Mika, though? 6 and 13 in the face-off circle. That's not good.
And I could be mistaken about this, but is he the Rangers' all-time leader in overtime goals or something?
Mika? No.
There's some stat about it, though.
No way. All overtime.
Yeah.
Goals.
Yeah.
Let's see. New York Rangers all-time leader in OT goals.
That's all-time goal leaders.
Goals. Come on, like that's not like a
Mika overtime goals Rangers.
Most overtime goals career. Yeah, Mika 537. Yeah, but that's for his career. right? That's not in like for the New York
No,
Rangers.
but it was
though.
something for the Rangers. Their team.
New York Rangers top
overtime.
20 all-time goal scorers. List of Rangers career.
I think you have to.
Career leaders. Game-winning goals. No.
Huh.
Do you know, like, was it? I don't know.
I think you got to search Mika Rangers overtime career goals.
Set franchise record with his 8th overtime goal, and the Rangers beat the Chicago's Blackhawks 4-3.
But I wonder, you think that's in a season?
It has to be, yeah.
But
Most overtime. Wait, no. 8th career overtime
Yeah.
goal as a Ranger.
So I guess it is, because if you think about it, you don't have a ton of overtime.
Yeah, it says it 2 days ago. You're franchise leader in OT
Wow.
goals.
Doubting me, Tony.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
With only 8.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
I know. But I think not many goals are scored in overtime, to my point.
Yeah, no, of course. I get what you're saying.
So yeah, I think, there's definitely some reason to be concerned, regarding that performance, almost blowing it. But I could use your help here, Tony.
What do you got?
Updating pick wise from Friday. If you
Yes.
could go back to the scores.
Let's go.
All right, so we're gonna start with you here.
Mhm.
So we're going. Is that right? What is this?
Oh no.
Oh no! Wait, hold on. Okay, I got it. Okay, start with me actually, but the same thing.
I'll start with you. Yep.
Penguins in the under.
1,
Rangers in the over.
2. It's 3.
Oilers in the over.
2. That's 5.
5. Okay. So let me just update this real quick.
So 5 of 6.
What? 5, 6.
5 out of 6.
5 out of 6. So not bad, right?
That's great.
Okay, so I got 2 on the Super Bowl 2, so 116. All right. So for you, Wild in the under,
That's 2.
Rangers in the over,
That's 2.
Ducks in the over.
That's 1.
So that's
5.
5 as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's now I've narrowed it a little bit. It's 133, 116.
Nice.
And we have, I think it's 4 games tonight.
We do, dude.
Okay. Or is it 4 or 5? No, 4. Okay. And just before we do the frenzy though, quickly,
What do you want?
state of the Rangers right now. Do you feel any better than you did pre All-Star break, or you kind of feel the same? Because you need to see additions to the team.
Yeah, any additions. I mean, again, not relying on Brodzinski getting goals every night, but that's great that he's heating up right now. Hope that continues, that he stays hot. Because that third line is dope with VC, whatever. And then, I mean, to see, Mika contribute in overtime. I'd love to see Mika contribute in 5-on-5 regulation. So I feel good offensively, honestly, especially against a team like the Flames. But I mean, my main concern is Igor. It stays that same right there.
Confidence level 1 to 10 that he allows less than 3 goals tonight.
Confidence level less than 3, 1 to 10, 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 3.5.
50%, dude. Wow. Wow.
35%. But I feel good about the rest of the team, and I'm cautiously optimistic here. So we'll talk about it in the frenzy. But it is time for a hockey frenzy.
All right, that's it now. Football is over, baby. Hockey is the new in. It is Monday, February 12th around the National Hockey League. Starting off first is Michael's favorite team that he doesn't really follow, the New Jersey Devils, taking on the Seattle Kraken. That's right. Michael will say, oh, I wore the red hoodie today for them. But the Devils here are minus 140 at home because we know the Kraken are kind of trash. Should be pretty interesting to see if Jack Hughes is playing or not. Have to double check that. But tickets as low as $12. Over under set at, I want to say, 6.5. Yes, it is. Brian, what do you got there, dude?
All right. So kind of continuing a theme all season long. I mean, really,
Jack
you look
Hughes
at these
in
teams, okay, and similar records. I know you could say, slightly better on the side of New Jersey. just don't like the goaltending scenario and just the performance on the ice. The Devils have lost 4 out of 5. Kraken have lost 3 out of 5, so similar situation. But I just because of the fact that I feel like defensively the Devils get torched, and almost like what we were saying with the NFL pick segment, counting on mediocre teams to do the job. Devils minus 140 favorites. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. So give me the upset here with the Kraken. Give me the over as well due to the goaltending. And I'm going to say Seattle defeats New Jersey here. We are going to go 5-3.
That's a tough pick, honestly, for me here. I think I'm going to go with the Devils tonight. Jack Hughes, I mean, I think they're going to have enough offense, I think, to beat the Kraken. I don't want to hear about Joey Decord, the guy from Boston who gives a shit. And I do agree, though, Devils goaltending, not a good scenario. I would say Devils win outright because of the goal-scoring ability. So give me Devils and the over. Brian. Next game up, we have the game of the night for us here in Madison Square Garden. Don't smudge the DVD, Michael. The Rangers are taking on the Calgary Flames here. Coming in from Calgary, obvious. The Rangers are favorites here at home, minus 150. We know Igor in between the pipes confirmed. Reported first here by Brian Barnaby just mere minutes ago. Over on us at 6.5. What do you think about Igor here at home? You are nervous a little bit.
Nervous for Igor, not nervous about the Rangers. They win in spite of him. So I'm going to say the Rangers, high-scoring game here, but Artemi Panarin, as he's done all season long, leading the way, 3 points tonight, a goal and 2 assists. And I'm going to say the Rangers are going to defeat the Flames here 6-3.
Honestly, dude, I'm tired of this bullshit and worrying about this. I think Igor first shutout this season tonight against the Flames, saving 39 of 39, Michael, okay? And the Rangers will go on to win this game 2-0, courtesy. I'll give Brodzinski, the third-line center, who's kind of heating up right now, his third goal consecutive games here. So give me the Rangers and the under, Brian. Next game up here, we're going to Philadelphia in the Wells Fargo Center. Michael, hype for this game here as the Flyers are taking on the Coyotes, dude. Philly, of course, minus 150 at home. I would imagine your over-under is also set at 6.5 for this game here. No, it's 5.5. Wow, dude.
Coyotes don't really score that much. Good goaltending.
Sam Ertz has been doing great for the Flyers. Makes sense. John Tortorella, pretty excited on a 3-game winning streak. Coyotes, we know, have lost all of their last 5 games. What do you think? Do you bounce back?
Yeah, I hate to say it. I hate to see it. If this game was at home, I would take Arizona. Being that it's in Philly, I think it's 4 in a row for Torts and the fellas. I am going to go with the under, though. I think we'll see some great goaltending between Earson, between Ingram. But we are going to say Philly 3-2 over Arizona.
I guess I'll just mirror that, I guess. Can't really argue much with that. Let's move on. Next game here, the final game of the night, 10 p.m. in Las Vegas, dude. They get no breaks for professional sporting events there. T-Mobile Arena, the Golden Knights, are hosting the Minnesota Wild from St. Paul, dude. Vegas here, minus 140 at home. Over-under is at 5.5 again here. Lot of day-to-day injuries here with the Knights. Interesting to see if White Cloud and Mark Stone do play. Both teams, Knights won 4 of the last 5. Wild have won 3 of the last 5. What do you got here?
I don't think the injuries matter. I think Minnesota all year mediocre, and I think the Knights at home, where they've been very good, 19-5. I think that success continues. So give me the Knights. We're going to say a final score here. Total's at 6.5, right?
5.5.
Oh, it is 5.5. Okay. Yeah. We're going to say the Knights 4-1 over Minnesota.
Really? And Michael misses that shot.
Tony says, I'll take Minnesota.
No, I'm going to take the Knights, but the over, dude. I can't doubt that there's going to be great goaltending. I'm really on either side, I guess you could say, but obviously the Knights have that advantage with their goaltenders. And Gustafsson, we know, has been And I imagine he's starting. I don't think they would start Fleury, and I would think the Knights could put up 5. I say Knights put up 5 tonight by their own selves. They win 5-1. So give me that in the over.
Wow.
Let's go, dude.
And just like that, that is our hockey frenzy, Tony.
Wow, first frenzy since the Super Bowl. Let's go, dude. First frenzy of the week. It's Monday. What up?
You know, for a light schedule, I think decent slate, no?
I would say phenomenal matchups.
Obviously with the Rangers there,
Yeah.
That makes it
And
makes it exciting.
You get like some great like West Coast and East Coast teams playing, dude. Some Canadian teams in there.
So a couple questions here to kind of
you have questions.
First of all, would you say out of all these games, are the Rangers the biggest lock
For just a win?
for a win?
Rangers biggest lock for a win. I would say yes.
Okay.
Confidently.
And then take the Rangers out of the conversation. Who's the biggest lock for a win?
I mean, it's tough not to go with the Knights at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were maybe thinking Flyers. I just feel like Coyotes on the road, hard to trust them.
It is, but I don't know. I feel like
Flyers aren't great.
Urson is like, he's been doing great, but super young. Never know. He could have an off game. It's just, he has such a small sample size for him. And of course, you never know. Coyotes, whether it's Vejmelka or Ingram, they could either one of them have a great game, So that's kind of a toss up for me. Interesting that the lines are all pretty tight here. Oh, minus 140, minus 120.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're great matchups, like we said.
Michael, Knicks over the Rockets in Houston tonight or no? Really?
No.
What is it? Jalen Green?
Well,
yeah.
I always said he was going to be big.
Scotty Barnes.
No, they're power forward.
Segun?
Mini Jokic.
21 points a game, 9.3 rebounds, 5 assists. Nobody knows his name. Tony can't even Thaddeus Young him.
No.
Doesn't even know.
The sport, we know.
Job well done.
But you don't know his name.
Denver or Milwaukee tonight in Milwaukee.
Denver.
Tony?
I guess you got to go with Denver. How can you go against Denver?
I was just going to see. I know Porter might be banged up, but obviously the Jokic and Giannis matchup there. But yeah, I do agree. But actually, it says Giannis and Dame are game time decisions. But obviously, that would bode better for the Nuggets. But yeah, just Doc as well, big spot.
So you think Nuggets?
Yeah, I would say. I would say Nuggets, and I think Giannis and Dame are going to play. But still, I definitely like the Nuggets. I mean, obviously the Bucks have a lot of talent, but I just think the Nuggets have a pretty good shot to go back to the finals.
Yeah, I still think so. It's so crazy. I always think back, honestly, to the 76ers Nuggets game we watched here, and like Embiid was like kind of cooking Jokic a little bit, dude.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of a shame that
it's a shame that he out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's
like probably he'll be back for the playoffs, but who really knows?
Dude, that's so tough, bro.
Right now, who's your champion today? NBA
Mavericks.
Really?
Yeah, that was my preseason prediction. And I'm sticking with
Saturday.
it. Let's go, dude.
Beat them by 37 or something.
Wow.
I said it since he came in the league. The next one.
Who do you like in the East, Tony, to make the finals?
I mean, I forget. I think I had Miami when I picked it.
Who's 8th right now?
Should have
bet the house.
It's tough with the Embiid injury. I think
I know
said
it's so
Philadelphia.
annoying.
Yeah, it's really anybody's game because Boston seems like they choke in big spots. They could make it back.
True.
But then Milwaukee, do they get it together?
Seems like they won't, but they could, I guess.
Knicks, a long shot. Could they do it?
Out in the first.
Yeah, we're going to have a little meeting of the minds, Tony, after this one. But Josh B did have some positive comments, I believe. He's excited about the Rangers,
dude?
right?
Oh my gosh. Shell frenzy. Let's fucking go Rangers,
Ken
he
Deuces,
says.
let's
Go
go
Rangers. Josh B. Not one mention of a hat trick tonight.
2 goals and an assist. Or no, was it 1 goal and 2 assists?
One goal and 2 assists. Josh B. LOLing at that.
Panarin. Yeah. I think that's really it. But hey, I would say a successful post Super Bowl show We gutted through it.
Oh,
I was a
yeah,
little
dude.
tired from yesterday. A lot of food.
I can't
the
believe
drinking.
how exhausted I am, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't do much besides eat and drink
Yeah.
and
Well,
sit
that's,
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
It is annoying.
Yeah.
It's tough to like, okay, after
Yeah.
this, like full day in.
Yeah. Like my stomach kind of hurts a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was tough last night. But hey, we grind through it, Tony. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're over the San Francisco defeat now.
Well, now that you mention it.
No, oh my God.
No, yeah, of course. It's not that bad, I guess.
Michael, would you say Tony's learned his lessons about the Chiefs, Mahomes?
No. It's only a matter of time. It's only a
What
matter
do you
of time,
think?
dude. Come on,
No,
dude.
He's
Special.
gonna make the same mistake again.
Stop it. Special
you-
teams, the punt off the
but
foot
you-
of the player. That's
but
what you
you-
needed to
I
do to
feel
win.
like-
That's what they needed to do to win. A
I feel
special
like you wouldn't
teams
make that mistake
kerfuffle.
again. Or really, you didn't make the mistake because you said the Chiefs. Yeah. You know. So at least me and Michael, copacetic, I guess, as you could say, chats. And Kev Do, excited for the 18th. Can't wait. Let's go. But once again, really appreciate everybody who tuned in today, continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jane. Costume, merch, downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day. Enjoy the games.
Let's go,
Let's
Rangers!
go, Rangers! And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.